I saw a statistic that China now has an estimated installed capacity to build nearly 50 million cars a year. That's twice as many as the industry can sell domestically. And as we discussed earlier, this is the result of a government drive, government incentives, subsidies, etc. So, Bill, if this is a largely self-made problem that's generated this race to the bottom, then the logical conclusion here is that Beijing has to step in or market forces have to step in. What is that shakeout going to look like, ultimately?
Well, the first thing that has to happen is you have to stop putting up new factories. I think what happened is there has been a lot of overinvestment in, not just by Chinese companies, by the way, by global companies who all came here and enjoyed 2/3 market share up until 2020 and the shift to EV began. Now there's a tremendous overcapacity, in large part in the gasoline-powered vehicle lane, which has shrank significantly. It's half the size of what it was 5 years ago. So most of that overcapacity that we're talking about is to produce cars that in China today are no longer in demand. EVs have a different problem. Underinvested by multinational companies, overinvested by China. So the 45 to 50 million units of installed capacity, yes, more than half the cars in the world could be produced in China. About 1 out of every 3 are actually made in China. And about 2 out of every 3 EVs are made in China. So the first thing that has to happen is you have to stop putting up new factories. The second thing that you have to happen is let the market determine who the winner should be. And the winners are the ones who are actually producing good quality and affordable electrified vehicles. Let those companies survive, let the other ones go combine with others and reduce the supply overpressure.
So there will be discipline, there will be rationalization. And there was a forecast from Alex Partners, I think it was. They predicted a shakeout in the Chinese car industry, which currently features 137 EV brands. Only 1 out of every 7 will be profitable by the end of the decade. Does that square with you, Bill?
Yeah, well, let's put the numbers. But first of all, there are about 100 left. There were more than that at the beginning. Of those 100, 10 sell 80% of the EVs, and 5 sell 60%. So you've already got a pretty good case for consolidation. You could take 90 companies who only sell 20% of the market, and you can eliminate them or consolidate them with others. I think the blueprint for consolidation is pretty clear. The winners have already been decided by the market.
Bill, the shift into autonomous driving, is that going to promote what could be a new demand vertical that may help cream off some of the excess capacity, or is this only going to really help at the margins?
Actually, I don't think it helps. Autonomy actually reduces by allowing cars to deliver more miles traveled, actually more efficiently serving demand for mobility. You actually reduce the need for individually owned cars. So I don't think autonomy solves the problem of excess capacity. It actually could work the other way by making it less necessary to have individually owned cars out there, especially in an increasingly urbanized world. So I think it doesn't actually solve the problem.
Let's bring in Tesla versus BYD once again, Bill. And BYD beat Tesla in the affordable EV segment in China. Is BYD going to beat Tesla in self-driving cars?
They're taking a different path. Tesla viewed a self-driving technology as a price-up feature. BYD's Divine Eyes, or God's Eye, another way to say it, they actually include that as a base offering. That's so that they can get more of an install base, more people using it, and more miles aggregating into their algorithm for teaching the car to drive. So the approach they're taking is more of a democratization approach, less of a gentrification approach to autonomy. And I think that's in general the way Chinese companies think about technology commercialization. They're going for super scaling it and getting it into the sort of the base offering of the product. So yes, I think the path to autonomy is going to take a different route in China, and it actually is going to take a more, I'd say, a mainstream route for getting it into the general population.
Yeah, it's interesting that BYD offer God's Eye for free, but Tesla sells comparable technology for nearly $9,000 in China. Bill, so ultimately, is BYD the last name standing here? Well, not necessarily the last name standing, but I'm just trying to understand ultimately within the next 5 to 10 years, what does this consolidation and this shakeout and this rationalization mean, and what are the big players and the dominant players that remain?
Well, surely BYD. BYD sold in May more cars than Tesla sold in January through May in China. And they're going global rapidly. They're present and they're localizing around the world. They're building factories in Europe, in Southeast Asia, in Latin America. So I think BYD is the superscaler. They are going to go global. They're going to be the first Chinese company to truly be a global company. There are a few others in China that will fill in as sort of survivors in the consolidation race. Companies like Geely, companies like Chery, who don't get as much attention but have gone global as well. So I think there's a handful of companies that will emerge from China as global players. That doesn't eliminate the leading foreign competitors like Toyota. Obviously, Tesla would like to have a role in the final consolidation of the industry. But I think the shakeout will not just be in China; it will be a global shakeout.
Bill, Xiaomi started off life as a smartphone company. Now it's in EVs. Do you like that particular narrative of a highly performing tech device on wheels?
Oh, absolutely. I think I talked to you and Martin about this over a year ago. This is an addressable market of smart device fans. I mean, China's the biggest digital economy on the planet. Xiaomi, with their first car, the SU7, has basically been chasing demand. They could probably sell even more than they have. They just launched their into an even larger segment, YU7. I think the digital economy's presence in the industry is going to be quite transformative, because why shouldn't the car be a smart device? Why shouldn't the car have human-machine interface? Why shouldn't you be able to aggregate data and monetize it through the platform of the services business that they have? Yes, companies like Xiaomi are going to be one of the finalists in this future mobility game. And I think Huawei, as a brand, not as a brand of a car, but as a embedded technology brand, is also a huge player in China in the automotive space as well.